Aloha, and welcome to VOSR International, the voice of shortwave radio. I'm your host, Wavecrest Guy. This broadcast is being transmitted by WRMI, Radio Miami International, in Okeechobee, Florida, on both 9455 and 15770 kilohertz. This broadcast is also being transmitted by shortwave radio in Lower Saxony, Germany, on 3975 kilohertz.
So we're going to start out this broadcast like we usually do with some announcements. And first off, aloha from Maui. We are on our vacation over here on the Hawaiian island of Maui. We're staying over in Kihei, and I will have a couple segments probably on this broadcast that feature some of the things that we did or we are going to be doing while we are at our stay here on Maui. Now, don't forget, you can head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can check out a whole bunch of stuff over there. I will have a page just for our Maui vacation, and I will be talking a little bit about some radio stations that we hit. I'll have some links. I'll have some pictures, so you can check out the beauty of Maui over on our website at VOSRinternational.com. While you're there, you can also check out the listeners map, where I put a pin on your location. If you send us a communication, send us an email or post on Facebook or on Reddit. But I will have a pin there. It's filling up nicely. And if you ever thought about sending a reception report or just sending an email to say hi, that's great. Send it in. Don't delay. Send it in. And if you give me your location, I can get a pin added onto the map. Just send an email into VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or while you're over at our website, just click on the mail icon and you can contact us that way. Also, while you're over there, check out the listeners' radio page. We've got a whole mess of pictures that were sent in from listeners of their radio shacks, their radios, themselves with their radios, their equipment. It's really great to check that out. There's a lot of great radios over there. And snap a picture yourself, and we'll get your picture onto that page so everybody can check it out. Then also, we do have some VOSR International merchandise you can go check out. We got some notepads and some desk pads and some hats and shirts and coffee mugs. Go check it out. Any sales just go to help to buy airtime for the broadcast. Also, don't forget to check us out or check out the past radio broadcast page. I have every file from every broadcast over on there, so you can check out the very first broadcast back in February of 2025 and every broadcast since then over there. The only thing, there is a little bit of delay on the newer ones. There's probably 2 or 3 weeks before they show up on the page. Just in case I rebroadcast them, I want to make sure that they get available after they are done being broadcast on shortwave. So you can check that out there. You can also go over to my YouTube channel, Wavecrest Guy. I have a list of the playlist over there that also has all the past broadcasts. I got a lot of radio receptions, reception report videos about different broadcasts that I picked up here in Hawaii on a lot of different radios. I have some radio reviews and antenna reviews and equipment reviews. So you can go over there, check it out. Again, that is Wavecrest Guy. And then, of course, if you're on Reddit, or go over and join Reddit, you can check us out at Grundig Shortwave Radio. That is our group. You don't have to have a Grundig Radio to join that. Go ahead and join the group, and you can post and then check out all the other receptions and questions. And it's a really nice group over there of people with a lot of information. Then lastly, check us out on Facebook. Head over and join our group on Facebook at VOSR International. When you join, then you can post, you can put reception reports there. Anything that's posted on a VOSR International Facebook group, I will go ahead and I will read that on the air. And so a lot of people have been putting reception reports on there, and that works just as easy. So go over there and check that out if you're on Facebook. If you're on Spotify, you can actually go over there and check out our past broadcast on there also. I do post them on there. There aren't a lot of people that head over and listen to us on Spotify, but I do post them on there, so you can check that if that is your favorite media of choice. All right, so let's get on with this special edition, the Maui Vacation broadcast of VOSR International. All right, so this first segment is going to be just a introductory segment to our vacation here to Maui. And if you are a regular listener here at VOSR International, you know that I live on the island of Molokai in Hawaii. And that is actually in Maui County. So for this vacation, I'm not even leaving the county in Hawaii. I'm staying in Maui County, but we have to take a flight there. Now, we live on the east side of Molokai, on the southeast side, and we can see the island of Maui from our lanai. And then actually over to the right, we can see the island of Lanai. And they're both roughly about 15 miles away from us here on Molokai. But the only way to get there is an airline called Mukulele. And so they are a small regional type airline, and they run, I believe they're Cessna Caravan airplanes, and they only hold 9 passengers. So to get here to Hawaii, the airport is very small. It's MKK is the airport listing, but the runway isn't really long enough for really much larger planes. You can get some bigger planes, but all the passenger ones for right now, for the last couple of years, have been these Mukulele aircraft that hold 9 passengers. So the flight, we actually have to go, because we're on the east side. The airport is more towards the west side, towards the center of the island. It takes us about 40 minutes to drive over there. And then the flight actually to Maui runs about, they say 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but that includes some taxi time and stuff like that. You're really only up in the air about 20, 25 minutes, depending on which direction they're coming from. These small planes sometimes can be an adventure when you get in them. Especially when you're starting to take off and starting to climb an altitude, and then actually when you're coming down too, they are smaller, and if it's windy, you can get bounced around pretty good in them. But they do a great job over there, and it is really kind of like a sightseeing tour when you're on these airplanes. Because when you get on there, there's only there's one aisle in the middle, and you have one seat on the right and one seat on the left, and then at the back there's a bench seat, but for the 9th seat, and you can see the pilots. There's always 2 pilots in the plane. They don't close that off, so you can see all the instrumentation. You can see them flying the aircraft, so it's kind of neat. And each seat has a window. So you have a view, and sometimes you're just, of course, overlooking the ocean, depending on which side you're coming in on. But coming into Molokai, there is the peninsula there of Kalapapa, which, if you know anything about Molokai's history or any type of history of Hawaii, it is kind of famous that is where there was a leper colony. It's actually still there, and there's actually a couple patients still there. It is going to become a national park when the last a few patients pass away on that peninsula. So the only way to get down there used to be to Kalapapa. There used to be some switchbacks, and you could ride a mule down there, but there was a landslide, and it took out that trail. So right now, flying in is really the only way that you can get in at Kalapapa also. So anyways, back to the vacation and going over to Maui. So then we go from airport MKK, the Molokai Airport, and we fly into OGG, which is the main airport over in Kahului on the east side of the island of Maui. Now we're going to be staying over in Kihei, which is over on the more southern west side. It is the drier side of the island, and it is more of a residential type town, but of course there are some along the coast. There are some hotels and everything for vacationers and visitors. Now, on the northwest side of Maui is where the main tourist place or activities are, and that is the Ka'anapali area, where Lahaina is located up in there. There's a few really nice golf courses there, some PGA-style courses. And then, of course, Lahaina is opening back up after the devastating fires a couple years ago. Now, we are going to try to get over there, so we will take some pictures of the Lahaina area while we're there, so you'll be able to go over to our website at VOSRinternational.com. I'm going to have a page for this Maui vacation where you can go check that out. And then we're also, like I mentioned before, going to try to go buy some radio stations. I'll see if I can get some pictures of the antenna of the buildings there. There are a couple in Kihei I should be able to hit, and we'll be able to do that. We're also going to be heading over to the Maui Ocean Center, which actually in Hawaii Magazine, the new edition that just came out, that is the number one activity on Maui, is the Maui Ocean Center. It's right by the harbor. We've been there before, but it's been years, and they have got a great aquarium in there, and it is a really great place. It's fun to head over, so we will have some pictures added on the website, so you can go over there and check that out also. I will also have some pictures of where we are staying. We are staying at Maui Lei at Maui Hill. It is a two-bedroom condo, and they do actually have timeshares in the area. I do have a couple timeshares here in Hawaii. It just works out great for us to be able to stay in a condo and when we're going over to the other islands. So these work out great. This is in exchange for us. We usually stay at the Maui Schooner, which is still in Kihei. But we ended up trying something different, and we're more towards the southern end of Kihei here at Maui Hill. I will have some pictures of that too, some pictures of the resort around and around the surrounding area. The Kihei is kind of like a strip, and there are 3 beaches there, the Kamoli Beach 1, Kamoli Beach 2, Kamoli Beach 3. They call them the Cam beaches. They call them Cam 1, Cam 2, and Cam 3. And they're just right in line, right along the main road. And a lot of people, there's a lot of condos across the street, so there's people walking across, heading over to the beaches. So it's a really nice setup. And it's a little more different than the Kaanapali area, which has the larger resorts, and they have the larger beaches up in that area over there. But we will be taking a trip up to that area too, so we'll get pictures of that. And we may end out being in Kahului for a little bit, again, which is on the east side where the airport is. That's where the cruise ships come in on that side over there. And when I was working, that is where the warehouse was that I worked at, was over in Kahului area over there. So I'm familiar with that area. But a lot of nice places to go. We are not going to be doing the road to Hana, which is an all-day affair, driving all around the south end of the island. Very scenic drive, but it is exhausting. There are something like 600 turns in 30 miles or something. It's crazy. So those of you who have taken it know what I'm talking about. So if you are driving, and a lot of times it's not most enjoyable, and you don't get to see a lot because you're driving. When we did it, we took a tour, so I was able to enjoy it quite a bit more that way. Although because of all the turns and everything, I was getting a little bit car sick, so keep that in mind also. So that's a little bit of the overview of how this vacation is going to go, and you'll be able to follow along, like I said, by heading over to our website at VOSRinternational.com. Check out the Maui vacation page. So let us know. Have you been to Maui? Do you plan on going to Maui? It's been a long time since you've been here, or is it something that's been on your bucket list? Send us a email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com and click on the mail icon and contact us that way. If you have any questions about Maui, we've been there a lot. Of course, we live in Maui County. Just feel free to ask us questions about things to do, places to go, and pricing, whatever. If you have any questions about Maui or even Hawaii in general, for that matter, feel free to shoot us an email, and we'll help you out the best we can. And now on to the mailbag. First off, I just want to say that it's great that we're getting all these emails and communications and posts. Keep them coming in. It's really the only way I can tell if anybody is listening to the show. So if you've been listening for a while, haven't sent in an email, or if this is just your first time listening, don't hesitate to send an email in, do a post on our Facebook group. And the communication is great. It helps me with reception and to know how the broadcast is going out. And it just helps let me know that there are people out there listening. So send us an email to VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or you can head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. If you're on Facebook, join our group at VOSR International. Then you can post over there, and then I check that all the time, and I'll be able to add those to the mailbag. All right, so we'll start out with Facebook. There's a post from Bill in New Mexico, and he said that VOSR was a 5x9 coming in. Good reception over in New Mexico. Thank you so much, Bill, for listening and posting. And the next post on Facebook is from our regular listener, John, over in Coyote Hill Ranch in Concho, Arizona. He was listening on 94.55 kilohertz on May 9th, and he reports an SINPO of all fives, 55555, using his realistic SX190 with an MLA active loop. Again, John's got some great radios. You should go over there and check out the posts. A lot of times he puts a video clip in there. Really nice, and he's got some nice stuff over there. And it is really coming in really well over in Arizona. And next we have a post from Kevin, regular listener from Iowa. And he posts that he is 30 over S9 on peaks tonight, listening remote into my IC705 from the iPhone SDR app. And he says, thanks for the show. He was listening on 5850 kilohertz. So that is really neat how some people set their radios up, and then you can connect to it on an app while you're not there and still use the radio. That is really a great feature. Thanks again for the post, Kevin. Next, we have a post from Gerald, who posted VOSR via WRMI on 94.55 kilohertz, heard in Texas on a Panasonic RF4900 with a 125-foot long wire at 0301 UTC. Gerald's another one's got a lot of great radios. This Panasonic is really worth a look. Go take a look at it. And he does post videos too, so you can check and see how the broadcast is coming in over there in Texas. Thanks again, Gerald. And now moving over to Discord, we have Master Player who posted he was going to plus 50, so that is fantastic over there in Louisiana, and he's a regular listener. And then Guerrero reports that 5850 is okay in Chicagoland, so that is great also. Thank you so much for posting. Next, we have an email from Brian from Columbus, Georgia. And he writes, hi, listening for the first time on WRMI 5850. Coming in loud and clear. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Brian, and hopefully you'll become a regular listener to VOSR International. And next, I have to shout out to Luca in Italy. He sent me a message, and he was listening on May 7th on 6160 kilohertz over in Italy, and I had his message, and somehow I deleted that message, and I cannot find it to bring it back up. So, Luca, if you could send me another message, I will be able to send out an answer to you, and I will reply to your message. So please, if you can, if you're listening again, Luca, send us another email. Somehow I had inadvertently deleted that one, and I wasn't able to respond. And next we have an email from Jaigel from Ottrop, Germany. And he was listening on May 7th on 6160 kilohertz. And he writes, good day, dear Jeff Silvers. Let's get started with some stories about my SWLing. Nearly more than 40 years ago, I talked to an older neighbor woman that my father has some old interesting radio receivers still in use, for example, from Normandy. I like to play with it in my teenage years, around 11 years young. It is beautiful to look for radio stations you have never received before. So shorthand, she decided to go upstairs and carry an old pocket radio from one of her rooms, and didn't really know if it was still in working condition or not. Couldn't wait to come home and to test the reception and quality of this radio, built in the 1970s, I guess. I have forgotten the manufacturing name, but was able to receive several times the mailbox programs for Radio Pakistan, All India Radio, and even Radio Australia. It has really good functions and liked very clear selectivity. You could choose the frequencies on an analog scale, after that choosing from 0 to 9 for my clarifications. Having much fun with this equipment, but some years late it wouldn't work anymore. When I was a little bit older, my father presented me with a Philips pocket radio built in Malaysia. Now I found some other stations like KBS in German. It was the summer of 1988, and KBS transmitted the Olympic Games in Seoul. I was at the age of 14 and still fascinated that this should continue as a young man at the age of 20 when I had in use the Grundig Satellite 700 with a good FM, DX, and shortwave successful. And still some situations a little bit better. A Yaesu FRG 100 with the FRG 100 started more and more to receive amateur radio stations. Stayed to the days of St. Helena's days in 1990, made a listener's license at German Amateur Radio Club. It collected during the years thousands of amateur radio QSL cards heard by ICOM R20, ICOM R30 via satellite transmission in FM and SSB. On short DXing and SSB on 2 meters from Sweden, the Czech Republic, France, and many more. Many stations still sent their QSL cards to me and others, and my location is in Ottrop, Germany. And then he sends his listeners report for May 7th, and he was listening on 6160 kilohertz, and he was using his Sangen ATS 909 X2 with an active indoor loop GA450 antenna with an SINPO of 34343 and 44444 after 40 minutes. So, of course, it was varying. Nice for me to recognize some shortwave history, like Closed Down Voice of Greece. After that was present, like the pirate radio on the airwaves. The radio speakers made their jobs without any payments. Was also a listener from Radio Beijing, CRI in English and German languages. On shortwave and medium wave, very low Beijing came in directly on medium wave in the Chinese language. Several radio receivers that he has and he likes. There's the Sangen ATS 909 X2 with the GA450 antenna and the Texan AN48X antenna. DX Patrol MK4, that's his local SDR, with a GA450 antenna and 7 elements directional antenna. All band radio Redicus TR113 with a 1 meter telescopic, several portable radios also. For around 10 years, he's been a member of the RTI Listeners Club in Ottawa, Germany. So thank you so much for your letter, Yael. It's great to have you as a listener, and I will get a QSL out to you as soon as I get them in. They should be coming in any time now. And next we have an email from Jeff from Appomattox, Virginia, and he was listening to our broadcast on May 9th on 5850 kilohertz. He writes, hello, Jeff. This is Jeff near Appomattox, Virginia. I listened to your May 9th broadcast. A little fading between S7 and plus 20, but still good listening. I turned into 9455 kilohertz at 0300, and the signal was poor. I've been listening to shortwave for about a year, and I don't know if is a time limit to putting a pin on your map. But since you don't have an entry for West Virginia, I would submit that I was in West Virginia on the Easter weekend and listened to your show on April 4th on 15770 kilohertz. This was the show about the Canadian time signal. And I was visiting my daughter and son-in-law. They live on the top of Copper Mountain, which is about 1,700 feet in elevation. My son-in-law is a fourth-generation farmer, and his family owns 650 acres of orchard there. The signal that evening was one of the clearest and constant broadcasts I've ever listened to. Don't know if it was the elevation or the rural area, or just shortwave being shortwave. I was using a Texan PL990X, and just used the telescopic antenna that it came with. I brought a reel antenna, a reel that's like a fishing line antenna, an AN-03L that also came with the radio, but I never used it. We were sitting outside on the back porch at the time of listening. Copper Mountain is located in Hampshire County, West Virginia, between the towns of Augusta and Cape Bridge. And I hope you can fill your map. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Jeff. It's really great to get a reception report like this. And yes, that does fill in West Virginia. So right now, I believe I have 3 left. And we will have a pin in every state. That will be South Dakota, North Dakota, and Utah. Are the only 3 states that don't have a pin currently right now. So if you are in any of those locations, send us in a reception report. Let us know that you heard the broadcast, and we'll get those last 3 states filled in. And of course, we want reception reports from all over the world. So it only takes a minute. Send us an email, and we'll be able to get those filled in. And next we have a email from a regular listener, Adrian, in Malta, and he was listening on May 9th via shortwave on 15770 kilohertz, and he reports an SINPO of 55353 using a Texan PL660 with a long wire antenna of 27 meters. And this is good. At 15770 kilohertz over the winter months wasn't doing very well. And but lately, within the last month or 6 weeks, I actually checked it this last weekend. And it actually did really well. I was picking it up in SDRs all throughout Europe, down in Australia. So it was actually coming in really well. So if you haven't checked out the broadcast on 15770 kilohertz, it is on Saturdays at 2300 UTC. Try to give that a listen and see if that works for you. All right, and that wraps up our mailbag. So remember, send in those emails, posts on our Facebook group. Like I said, it's really the only way that I know that people are out there listening. It's always great to hear from everyone, and it's really great when you tell a little bit about yourself and about your equipment. A lot of people like to hear what people are listening to the broadcast with. So send us your emails at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com, or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. If you're on Facebook, join our group over at VOSR International, and then once you join, you can post over there also. So this next segment is going to be a programming segment, and specifically Hawaii radio programming. And because we are over here in Kihei, I'll be checking out some radio stations, and I wanted to go over some of them in Kihei. And so I thought I'd do a short history on one of the stations that I'm going to be going by, and it is KHEI FM. And this is located in Kihei, which is on the west side of Maui. Now, I am familiar with many of these radio stations because the west side of Maui, that's what I can see from Molokai. So I can usually get these broadcasts pretty good over either when we're on the road in our car or at home. It's a little harder for me sometimes to get some of the Oahu stations, although they are more powerful usually, but they are on the other side of the island, and we've got these huge sea cliffs here in Molokai that block me off quite a bit. So Maui does come in really well. And so I'm going to start out a little bit and talk about KHEI-FM. Now, these stations that I do mention and that I'll be going by, you can check them out. I will have links over on our website at VOSRinternational.com. I'm going to have a page, and I'll label it Hawaii Radio. And you can go check it out because you can listen to these over the air, so you can check it out and see what I'm talking about as I go through some of these. So anyways, KHEI-FM is 107.5 megahertz, is a radio station that broadcasts classic hits. It's licensed to Kihei, Hawaii, United States. The station is currently owned by Visionary Related Entertainment, that's VRE. And the frequency is 107.5, and it is branded as The Buzz. They play classic hits. They have sister stations of KAOI, KIXK, KKHI, KNUQ, and KSRR. Now KHEI first aired in 2009, and of course out of Kihei. It transmits at 750 watts, and they also have a repeater for 107.5 in Lahaina, and of course we know about the fire that devastated Lahaina a couple years ago now already. Just a brief history: the KHEI signed onto the air on April 30th of 2009 with a Hawaiian contemporary reggae format, branded as Island 107.5. On April 1st, 2016, KHEI changed their format from Hawaiian Contemporary Reggae to Classic Hits and rebranded as The Buzz 107.5. And again, I do listen to this one. It comes in nice and strong over on Molokai, and that is one of the stations that we listen to a lot. We do like classic hit type radio. Now, just one more thing about about their equipment, and it's about their antenna. They list a HAAT, which is the height above average terrain, and it is the effective height above the average terrain, and it is the vertical position of the antenna site above the surrounding landscape. HAAT is used extensively in FM radio and in television, and it is more important than the effective radiated power, ERP, in determining the range of the broadcasts. And so for KHEI, they are at 955 meters. That is 3,133 feet. And there are a couple ways that you can listen. You can actually, if you have a Alexa-enabled device, you can use that to listen to the Buzz of 107.5. You can also, they have a webcast you can listen to, and they also have a website that you can listen off of also. And again, I will have these links over on our website. The website is www.AKAMAILYNEWS.com, and then /1075 The Buzz. And they have a format similar to most FM radio stations on the mainland. You'll hear a lot of local news, local advertisements, of course. So you'll hear a lot of things about the island of Maui and what's going on. And over in Kihei, and if you've been to Maui before, if you haven't, West Maui is really the epicenter of tourists. Where they go, and they usually go to the northern part up by Lahaina and Ka'anapali. So that is northwest Maui. Kihei is more down south, and then even more south of that is Wailea, which is another vacation spot, but that is known to be quite a bit more expensive. So you will hear quite a bit of advertising for local things over on Maui, which can be interesting also. So go check that check out the website. Go give it a listen, and I'll have some pictures over on our website at VOSRinternational.com. And I'm going to stop over by the station. I'll take some pictures. Hopefully, I can get a picture of the antenna, and I will get some of that posted over on our website so you can take a look. All right, so let me know. Have you been to Maui before? If you happen to been by some of their radio stations, let me know. Send us an email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or you can head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. You can also join our group over on Facebook. VOSR International, and then you can just post there. I check that group daily, and you can be rest assured that your message will get through. And with this segment, I'd like to give another reminder for the Worldwide DX Club contest that are coming up. WWDXC FIFA World Cup contest is going to be running from June 11th, 2026 to July 19th of 2026. The FIFA World Cup contest starts on 0000 UTC on June 11th and ends at midnight of July 19th, 2026. Listening to one BC station of every country of the World Cup teams, and each country station can be logged only once. Only broadcast stations, no WebSDR, DRM, military, amateur, pirate, or meteorological stations with your own local receiver and antenna. The frequency range is going to be from 150 kilohertz to 30000 kilohertz, and only stations according to WRTH. Listening at least 15 minutes. The scoring will be computed as follows. You get 3 points for a station and transmitter in the same country. BBC WOF equals 3 points for England. 2 points per station in the country, so BBC SLA would be 2 points for England. And 1 point, the transmitter in country. WOF would be 1 point for England. 1 extra point for log during the game, and there'll be a maximum of 4 points per team, and then 2 extra points, both final teams during the game. Only 1 log per country, maximum of 42 logs. The logs must contain useful references, the name, address, receiver, antenna, frequency, date, time, SINPO, the station, transmitter, language, and details. A short declaration as follows. I take responsibility of myself that I have listened to all these stations reported during the time of validation of the contest. A prepared log sheet is available. The log sheet with your participation fee must be sent to Bernd Henning. He's the contest manager, and that's Dorfst, DORFSRT 6A D-23795, Stipsdorf, Germany. And there's an email of contest@wwdxc.de, not later than August 15th of 2026. The participation fee is a minimum of €5, no IRCs, to be sent with your listening list and contest manager or PayPal to the contest. Each participant will receive a certificate of participation, and the prizes for the best three participants are as follows. First is a WRTH 2026 printed edition, and then a digital set from ADDX on a USB stick, and that is the same for the third prize. I have all this information over on our website at VOSRinternational.com. You can click on it, and I have the sheet that I just read from right there on the website, so you can check that out, and then you can get entered for the contest. Good luck, everyone. Now, for this segment, I just want to talk a little bit about the radio that I brought to this trip over to Maui. So when I travel, I really like taking my Sea Crane Skywave SSB2. One of the reasons why I bought that not only its versatility, because it has all the bands and it does a really good job on the bands, and pretty much all the bands it does a really good job on, is it's compact. It's just a little bit thicker than a deck of cards, and it is a really easy radio to bring along. Now, I do have, it did come with one of those real type antennas that you clip onto the telescopic antenna. I also have a MLA 30 plus antenna that I take with me when I go locally on vacation here on Molokai. I have that on a 5-foot piece of PVC, and I could, just throw that in the car and take it with me. I could take it apart and maybe probably put it onto something when I get there, but I didn't really feel like doing that. I know we were going to be doing some other things too, and so I'm just going to use the telescopic antenna here when I am here on Maui. So that is going to limit me a little bit because here at home I am using the my bigger, more sensitive radios, my Grundig Satellite 800 Millennium. And then I'm running that off a K480 WLA antenna, and that combo works really, really well. So I'm probably not going to get the same, but I am going to be in a different location in the islands here, so I might still be able to get some different pickups, some different receptions on shortwave. I decided against taking my AM antenna, my small loop, the Grundig AN200. I decided not to bring that with me. When I'm going to be doing AM, I'm probably going to be taking the radio with me. The C Crane SSB2 with me in the car, and when I go around to these radio stations also. And I'm also going to use it when I'm in the airport. It's got the air mode, the air band, and I can pick up that and listen to that while I'm in Molokai. And then, of course, I'm over in the commuter terminal, so I'm not in the main terminal of OGG. That's about 2 blocks away is the commuter terminal, and they run off a different frequency, and I can listen to what's going on there also. So that's always kind of nice. To be able to have that airband and have that option to be able to do that. Plus, it's nice and quick, and it's small, and I can have it in my pocket, and I'm ready to go. The one other thing I didn't mention, or I might have forgot to mention, is when you fly Mukulele and you're going over to these other islands. There is no TSA, so you don't have to. You're not going to get checked. You don't have to separate anything. So you could just carry on what you're carrying on. So I don't have to worry about the radio and that type of thing when I'm doing these short flights to different islands. Now Mukulele directly from Molokai only goes to Maui and to Oahu. I can't fly directly to the Big Island. That would be, I'd have to go to Maui and then from Maui take another plane to the Big Island if I wanted to go there. Same thing with Kauai. If I wanted to fly Mukulele, I'd have to go over to Oahu, and then from Oahu, fly over to Kauai. Usually, because I have so many miles on Hawaiian from when I was working and flying the different islands, I usually only fly to Maui or Oahu, and then from there I take another Hawaiian flight because I have so many miles that I'll get it for free, and we'll go that way when we're going to Kauai and the Big Island. Now we are staying on the west side of Maui, southwest side over in Kihei, and from where I live in Molokai, I can't see that part of the island. Maui blocks the northwest of Maui blocks that vision, and I can't see Kihei, so I am going to have a different angle on things, and certain things won't be blocked, so maybe I'll be able to pick up some different broadcasts. I might be able to do a little bit more AMDXing also over there. I can try it. It is, would be nice if I had that antenna but we're trying to not take so much stuff, so we're trying to keep that down. So we're just going to go without it for now. But I'll see what I pick up, and I will report back what I am hearing. I'll also be posting some videos, maybe some of the receptions that I get, especially if I get something different or if I get it in much stronger. I will take some video of that. I'll post those over to VOSRinternational.com. You can check on that. I'll either have a different page for receptions, or I'll have it under the vacation page, so you can go over there and check that out. So mainly that Sea Crane is going to be my only radio with me, and that's what I'll be using. But it does have all the bands, and I really do want to try sideband also, and check and see if I can get the regular group of Hawaii ham radio operators when they're talking on their net, and see how well that comes in. Because sometimes there's a couple over here in Molokai that I don't get them as well. Some of them are at the Big Island, and a few over on Oahu, just because of the mountain ranges in the middle of us. I'm not able to pick them up as well. So I'm going to be curious. I do have those their ham license numbers and everything, so I do know them. I was able to get those. So if I do hear them and hear them better, I'm going to know it while I'm over there. So just being in that different location is going to make a big difference. And as the crow flies, I'm probably about 40 miles probably from where I'm going to be staying, but totally different location, and we'll see. I know there are a couple ham operators that I listen to regularly over on Maui, and so I should hopefully be able to pick them up really well. Now they are going to be, I know one of them is definitely on the east side of the island, and of course there's Haleakala, that is a huge mountain over there, volcano, and that could block that person there. So I'll see if that makes a difference. It definitely does here for AM reception over on Molokai. That does make it a big difference where I can't hear stations from Oahu because it's coming over the rest of the island, and it definitely gets blocked out some. So we'll see if that holds up and there's that much more, or if I'm able to hear some that I usually don't hear while I'm Molokai, or have trouble hearing some that I hear on Molokai, and I won't be able to pick them up there. So we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking I may be able to pick up some of the ham operators over on the Big Island better over there, just from the location standpoint. I might not get as good reception on the ham operators on Oahu. So we'll see if that does hold true. So let us know, what is the radio, your go-to radio for when you take a trip, when you're going somewhere? Do you bring an antenna along, and what do you bring with you? Send us an email at VOSRINT@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. Or if you're over on Facebook, join our group at VOSR International. Once you join, you'll be able to post, and I check that regularly, and I will be able to read those posts on the air here at VOSR International. All right, and this next segment is going to continue on with our theme of our Maui vacation this week. And we put together some things that we wanted to see while we were here. And one of the things that we went to was the Maui Ocean Center. We had first come to Maui a couple decades ago already, and we did visit the Maui Ocean Center at that time. And we've been back to Maui quite a few times since then, and we just thought it was a good time to revisit it. I'm sure there's been a lot of changes over there, so we were ready to head back for another visit. So if you don't know, the Maui Ocean Center is the premier public aquarium on Maui and the largest living tropical reef aquarium in the Western Hemisphere. It is located on the ocean front at Ma'alea Village. It exclusively exhibits marine life native to Hawaii waters. They are open 365 days a year. So anytime you come to Maui, you can definitely head over to the Maui Ocean Center and take a visit and check out what they got. They're open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the last entry into the park they allow in is at 4 p.m. You'll definitely want to go earlier than that. Now the admission pricing. This is not a cheap affair. Now we had went the last time. I don't think it was this expensive, but again, that was 20 years ago. So right now the admissions for an adult is $49.95 U.S. and children are $39.95. If you are a senior, a kapuna, it is $44.95. So you save $5. We do live, of course, in Hawaii. We are residents, so the Kama'aina admission rate is $29.95. Children are $19.95, and kapuna are $26.95. And we were able to get in under the kapuna rate because we qualified for that. Now, for a time commitment, they recommend a standard self-guided walking tour through the facility will typically take between 2 and 2.5 hours to explore all the major exhibits and the natural presentations. So definitely you want to give yourself some time. I would say if you gave yourself 3 hours, that's great. And if you end out finishing early, that's fine too. But I would definitely allow some time for it. And then, the top experiences and exhibits. The Open Ocean exhibit features a massive 750,000 gallon tank housing more than 50 species of marine life. It includes a 240-degree walk-through acrylic tunnel for panoramic views of blacktip reef sharks, stingrays, and deep-sea fish. There's also a Humpbacks of Hawaii 3D Sphere is a multi-sensory, state-of-the-art 360-degree dome theater experience that puts viewers eye to eye with humpback whales. Shows run every half hour from 10 a.m. all the way to 4:30 p.m. and are included in the general admission. There's also the Living Reef. It showcases one of the world's largest collections of live Pacific corals across more than 60 thriving, highly detailed, localized exhibits. Then there is a Turtle Lagoon and Tide Pools. Offers outdoor viewing of green sea turtles alongside tactile touch pools where naturalists host daily interactive presentations. And then, of course, on the grounds is sustainable dining. It features an on-site seascape restaurant, which uniquely platinum certified for sustainability by serving 100% ocean-friendly menu with coastal harbor views. Now, at these exhibits, the center provides regular presentations by highly educated marine naturalists. Keep in mind that the animal feeding schedules are based on their natural needs and are subject to shift. So there are time presentations at the shallow reef. Usually goes every half hour for about an hour in the morning and then twice in the afternoon. And then the blacktip shark in the nursery bay also has presentations along with the turtle lagoon. Has two time presentations, one at 10:30 and one at 2:30. So you'll want to check the schedule before you plan on when you're going to go and see what you can get in for the 3 hours or so that you want to be there. Now, during our trip over there, of course, we took tons of pictures. So I will have a page that I am going to put up on our website here at VOSRinternational.com, where you can go check it out. Probably have a couple short videos also, and just to show you the whole surrounding area, along the ocean front. I know the harbor is really in a unique position there, and during the humpback whale season, you're able to see whales jumping and coming out of the water at the harbor over there, and it's quite common occurrence during the whale season, which generally runs. The peak is January through March into April. The humpback whales come down from Alaska, and they birth their calves in the waters around Hawaii. Maui has the biggest concentration of them, and it's usually the island. If you want to go see whales, you head over to Maui. So one other thing I did want to bring up, as long as we were talking about the expenses, also about going, and it's parking. The worst island for parking in the Hawaiian Islands is Oahu. Where Honolulu is going into Waikiki. There's paid parking all over the place, and it's extremely expensive. It could be $25 is cheap, up to $50 just to park your vehicle. So on Maui, it's not as bad, but you get to places like this, and they will have some paid parking. So there is paid parking over at the Maui Ocean Center. A visitor non-resident parking fee has been implemented at the Ma'alea Triangle, where the Maui Ocean Center is located at. And you use a QR code, and you can scan, and it's pretty automated, and then you put in how many hours you want to stay there. And then at 15 minutes to the end of your parking time, they will send you a text saying you have 15 minutes left. We were not able to find out how much it was for the parking because we were Kama'aina and we did get 5 hours of free parking. But keep that in mind if you are we're planning on going. There is going to be an extra expense for parking at the Maui Ocean Center. Now, we really enjoyed our time over at the Maui Ocean Center, and I do highly recommend it. If you are, into ocean and the sea life and learning more about it, that's the place to go. The people there are very knowledgeable. You can ask lots of questions, and it is really, we think it's really worth the money. Now, if you're not if you're not into that, of course, it is expensive, so you're probably not going to want to go because it will take some time. And otherwise, if you're not interested in it, you're just going to be bored and walking through it. You'll probably walk through it in about an hour, which will make it, of course, even more expensive. But if you go there, spend a few hours. Actually, the price really isn't too bad because you're getting a lot of time and a lot of information out of the whole event. So anyways, we really recommend the Maui Ocean Center. And when you're on Maui, if anybody has any questions about the Maui Ocean Center or any of these things that I'm going over for our vacation on Maui, just don't hesitate to ask. Send us an email, and we'll get back to you. So let me know. Have you been to the Maui Ocean Center? Have you been to Maui? Send us an email. Send it to VOSR int@yahoo.com. That's VOSRINT@yahoo.com. Or you can head over to our website at VOSRinternational.com, and you can click on the mail icon and contact us that way. You can also, of course, head over to Facebook if you're on there and join our group at VOSR International. And once you join, you're able to post, and everyone will be able to see your comments.
And that concludes our broadcast. Be sure to catch our broadcasts every Saturday at 0300 UTC on 9455 kHz, and also on Saturdays at 2300 UTC on 15770 kHz, transmitted by WRMI Radio Miami International from Okeechobee, Florida.
We are also broadcast by Shortwave Radio Gold in Lower Saxony, Germany on Thursdays at 1800 UTC on both 3975 kHz and 6160 kHz.